Can everybody hear me? Awesome. So, you know what? Let's take a moment to relax. Could you guys turn off the light for a second? Cool. Think yoga pictures, like the waterfall. It's very peaceful. Okay, so it's now 3 a.m. and we've been woken up by a production issue. Lights on. So I checked the logs and like, what the hell is this crap? This isn't nonsense. So I do a little bit of investigating. And what the hell? This is totally not worth waking me up over. And like, what am I doing wasting all my time with this like nonsense? So you know what? Screw it. This has been happening enough. I'm totally out of here. I'm going to get a new job. So this is me. I'm Gil. And today I'm going to talk to you about how not to burn out your production team, monitoring team, or whatever you want to call that. This is my Twitter handle. And during this talk, I strongly encourage you to tweet at me for anything that you disagree with me, especially if you disagree with me. So this is who I am. I currently work on Cloudify, which is a cloud orchestration framework. I previously went to Israel Institute of Technology for my bachelor's. I worked for Gett, which is transport on demand. I worked for Oncall, which is fintech, and Sparta Systems, which is pharmaceuticals. So many of you are saying, like, no way people actually leave their jobs over this, right? So you see the guys in green? They're the guys who haven't left. The rest, they went off, maybe not only because of this, but apparently, many people agree that the way you handle outages strongly reflects the way that you do other things in the company. And this is our motivation. For every guy that we lose, we have to hire somebody else. Hiring is very costly. These numbers are from Gartner, by the way. So what do? Well, we're going to talk about a few things, but first let's try to figure out how we got here. So this is your first on call. Then you start looking like this. Then like this. And eventually like this. And how did we get here? We were frustrated because we were unable to complete our tasks. Maybe we didn't have the proper tools for it. Maybe we had our time spent inefficiently, like with an empty slide. Maybe we were doing repetitive tasks, or we were left working alone. Or we were yak shaving. And for those of you who are not familiar with the term, basically yak shaving means that you spend a lot of time during a cascade of different tasks just to get to what you want to do in the first place. That's previously Walter White, by the way. Or maybe we're sleep deprived. This is research done right here in the UK 2 years ago about how politicians are making horrible decisions because they don't get enough sleep. So let's talk about the easy stuff. The stuff that you can do right now. No changes to infrastructure, just policy. So let's start with a mandatory half-day off about after-night production issue. This is because when you're going to come in the next day after you haven't slept all night, you're going to do horrible work, and then you're going to spend 2 days fixing that cluster thing that you just did already. Oh, by the way, this is done at one of the teams at AOL. Then another thing you can do is allocate weekly time to kind of find the duct-tape solutions for things that are troubling right now and keeping you up at night. I'm not talking about like real big architecture changes, only things like cron jobs or true boot servers. They do this at SimilarWeb, by the way. They have the guy do on call. All that the guy does all week is work on these type of solutions. You can work on getting wider rotation. You can get a policy that says that everybody in the company does on call, and we're going to train everyone to do it. You can get a knowledge matrix, which is a really cool tool. It basically says who knows what. I'm up at night, and nobody knows everything, so I'm going to have to call somebody about the mobile link, because obviously I know nothing about it. So I can choose whether I am calling Karen or Ari, and I don't have to call them both. I can call just one of them, or I can call one or the other alternately. One thing they do is Google something called follow the sun, which basically means that if you have teams in several time zones, you can have only the people who are currently up work on production issues, which is pretty awesome. Think about it. No nighttime wake-up calls. Now, not everybody can do this. Not everybody has, teams everywhere. But if you do, you should totally do this. Now let's talk about the intermediate stuff. Small changes to apps, logging, light automation, nothing too crazy, stuff you can do in months. So this is the alerting policy that I've seen with many of my colleagues. And it's pretty horrible. And that's the way it comes out of the box. And it kind of stays that way because of the power of defaults. And it causes this thing called alert fatigue, which basically means that it's like the boy who cried wolf syndrome, which I'm guessing most people are familiar with, and if not, Google that. So the solution to this, you alert only for the real symptoms, meaning you don't need to wake me up for like that one Amazon instance that like went down, and now another one's going to pop up in its place because the system is still up. We're still serving our clients. Only actionable stuff. For example, the world may be coming to an end within the next 10 minutes, which is really bad for business. But I can't do anything about it, so I'd rather sleep through it. Also, only business-breaking stuff, like real business-breaking stuff. And that's not something I can tell you what to do. This is something that you need to work out with your product team. So now you have a few teams, and each team has their own on-call person. So there's a nighttime issue, something is down, and you wake everybody up, all the on-call people. Now they get real frustrated. And you need to learn to make the machine learn to only wake up the right people. And it's actually not that difficult. There are solutions for this for companies like PagerDuty, and I'm guessing since it's a big issue right now, there are a whole bunch of other companies spinning this stuff up. Now let's talk a little bit about logging. The logging policy of your application and your infrastructure strongly affects what type of tools your engineers have at game time to handle these issues. The log tells us what happened to our system, how we got here. Unfortunately, when you log all the things, it's kind of difficult. It's kind of overwhelming. And it takes I can't stop watching that. And it takes forever to find things. And this is because we have a tendency to do things like log success, which, it's cool. Yeah, my system's all green, but, you can't find the red stuff you're looking for. Or my personal favorite, logging to ephemeral storage, dev null, or like the instance that's actually up, because when the instance fails, the logs go with it, which is kind of useless for us. So let's talk about KPIs. We need to measure things. We like to measure, get all these metrics of our system. And so when we try to measure things, we have this tendency to kind of follow the crowd. But, when you try to measure, sometimes when you try to fix things and you're measuring the wrong things. So this is what Netflix does. Netflix are awesome, by the way, in case you didn't know. They measure stream starts per second, which are basically the times that you press play. You press play on the player. So what happens when something doesn't work? You press play, right? So if that graph is off, something's wrong with the system. Also, you need to kind of find the right way to measure things. So for example, this is how we measure engine strength today. And I don't know about you, but I haven't ridden a horse to work recently. So and of course, no presentation will be complete without a cat picture. And So one thing that you do as a production engineer is you're constantly building scripts. You're getting all these scripts together, some to find problems, some to solve problems. So we can take our detection scripts and connect them to our correction scripts, and everything will be awesome. And at the beginning, it kind of feels like this. But if you persist at it, it becomes this. So this is Facebook auto remediation started out a whole bunch of Python scripts. And I think they're doing pretty well with their production system so far. So let's talk about the hard stuff. Stuff takes years to do. Designing for better operability, really long-term stuff. Now it sounds like all paleo future, all these robots and stuff. But actually, the building blocks are around now. This is one such building block, which I personally love. This is the Amazon Autoscale group. This is something that you can set up within 10 minutes to just boot up and work. And when the instance fails, another pops up in its place, just like Hydra, if there are any Marvel fans here. And if you start out with this, your life will be much easier. Now, that's all the time we have for today. This is me. This is my email, Twitter handle. Feel free to tweet at me for anything, pretty much anything. I love conversation, or arguing, so to speak. Thank you very much. Oh,